Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we're doing the verses on the Beacon and the Subjugator. Now, I'm going to just get right to the point and tell you which one I like better. I'm not going to make you wait to the end, but let me just say really quick, both of them are very similar. 20 CV steel, both titanium frame locks. Both of them have titanium hardware, the same hardware. The real differences is this one's slimmer, this one's thinner, different blade shape, and this one has thumb studs, and this one has a fuller. This one does look a little bit better in my opinion, and let me just say, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. I think both of them are really, really good, and I recommend both of them. However, when I first got them, I did pick the Beacon in my head first. A lot of it having to do with, I thought it looked cooler and the action is better. This one has, and not better, let me just be clear. It has more drop shutty action. When you disengage it, it has fall shut action. Incredibly smooth. However, over time, over carrying it, over, just everything, I've realized that I prefer the Subjugator. Now, I'm going to explain why. Because it is, like, if you really love action, then you'll probably like the Beacon a little bit better. But there's other details that I wound up preferring and finding out that I wound up putting it in the pocket much more, using it a lot more, and carrying it a lot more. So let's talk about what they were. One, I really like to set and finish over the Bead Blast. Even though this blade shape looks cooler to me, this one worked better for me. The tip on it was just way more effective. I found me opening things and doing anything with the tip was way more effective with this, and I used it a lot more because of that reason. This one has just a little tiny bit more belly, and even though it works fine, it just, the belly gets in the way a little bit more than this one. This one kind of peeks out a little bit and really, lets you use it a lot better. So that was one thing. The next thing is this one has internal stop pins, right? This one has a regular stop pin. So I like having the internal stop pin like that because it just helps add a lot more to the side-to-side strength. This one's still super solid, but this one I can feel is a little bit more solid. Now, going into the solid, this one's lock bar strength is a lot stronger than this one. So that's one reason why this one's so much more fall shutty. That detent is great. Now, when I first got this, the detent felt light. But after about a day's worth of flipping, it got really good. The detent felt amazing. I do really like the detent on this one. Super snappy, fall shut action, easy to reverse flick. I do like the fuller. But this one has a little, the lock bar, when you disengage it, it feels light. It has not a lot of tension to it. This one has some tension to it. When you disengage it, yes, the detent is nice and early and it's still easy to disengage it and drop it. But you really feel that strength in the lock bar difference. Now, the detent is stiffer. It has a stiffer detent, so the thumb studs, it's great that it has the thumb studs because thumb studs are going to be easier for you to flick out when you have a stronger detent, which it has. Now, because of the lock bar pressure, it's not as smooth on the drop. It's still very smooth, very glassy. It is right. Both of them are riding on the same kind of bearings, ceramic caged bearings, but it is still very smooth. It's just not fall shut. Now, because of that, you get this. You can really feel and hear that lock bar just engage and suck the blade right into locking position. Like even when I slow roll it, I get to a certain point and it just yanks it in. And that is satisfying. I like that sound. It does something for me. You really know your knife is locked up. This one, not as much, right? It's still locked up, super solid. It's not weak or anything, but you can really feel it. You know, the microphone's not even going to do it justice. I feel it in my hand when it engages. I like that. Now, also, the next thing, this one's a little bit more comfortable because it's a little beefier. This one's a little slimmer in the hand. Still comfortable. It's still okay. Both of them, you can feel the clips. It is what it is. They're deep carry clips. So I feel the clip in both of my hands, on both of the knives in my hand. But this one being a little tiny bit beefier, you know, a little thicker, not as slim, it's a little bit more comfortable in hand. So I do like that. Now, next thing. Both heat treats are good. Okay. I sharpened both of them a couple times, used them, made them go dull, stropped them back up. They're both good. This one's a little better though. Now, I know that doesn't really matter because it's just how it came out. You could get both of them and your Beacon might be better. But between both of them being good heat treats, sharpening up extremely well, stropping up really well, holding their edges very well, this one just seems a little bit better. The edge was a little tiny bit stickier. It held on to that stickiness a little bit longer through cutting, and it stropped back and came back a little bit better. Like I said, that really doesn't matter because both of them are heat treated in the same company, same steel, same everything. It just that's just how it came out. You know, like I said, it could have came out the other way. Next thing is which this oh yeah, you know what? Before I say that, just know that I think I might switch the hardware on these guys because the hardware it's the same hardware. So I think I could switch the hardware now. I don't think I could switch the back spacers because they're, you know, they're different widenesses or widths, but I think I could at least change out the screws and the clips. I don't know how good it would look, but I'm thinking about doing it. Anyways, both of them have not so great sharpening choils. However, this one is, you can see right here, the plunge grind doesn't go, you know, I don't like them. I don't like the plunge grinds on either one of them. Both of them are kind of crappy. Now, they're okay. You'll get a couple edges. I got 2 edges on both of them, but you can already see, like, it's getting close to the plunge, but this one is a little tiny bit worse. I wound up hitting the stone right here. Not that big of a deal, and, you know, I know that doesn't really mean anything. But, all in all, like I said, I do think most people would pick the Beacon. I do really think that. A lot to do with the action. Most to do with the action and the way it looks. I even chose it off the bat. I went out to lunch with a friend. I gave him both of them to check out, and he picked the Beacon. Now, remember, I picked the Beacon too off the bat. Now, over time, I wound up finding out that this one just winds up in the pocket a little bit more. There's just little details I appreciate on a little bit more. Now, the one big difference, or there's a few big differences, but one of the biggest differences is that this is a little bit more expensive. This one is a little bit better priced. Not by much. They're both $200 and up, but still, you know, that could be a deciding factor for a lot of people. But yeah, the action on this one is so good. So that is one of the biggest differences aside from the blade shape and how thick they are. But the geometry on the blades, this one, honestly, they're both about the same thickness behind the edge. But this one is slightly, and I mean, it's such a tiny, tiny bit. I might even be wrong because it's that little. I think this one might be a little tiny bit slicier, but it's so subtle that it doesn't really matter. They both pass through materials really good, and this one, the tip is more effective for me, so I wind up liking the geometry a little bit better on this one just because of the blade shape. Even though I like the way this one looks better. It's so funny. But there you guys go. Just a quick video letting you guys know which one I picked overall after all my testings. I did, you know, all my cut tests, my sharpening, my so on and so forth. You know, I didn't show a lot of clips in this video because, you know, I didn't think it was that necessary. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. As always, peace.